Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. And welcome to the 6th episode of the second season of the webinar series, Online Technology Dissemination and Training Series of Bicol in partnership with Bicol University Extension Management Division and the Philippine Association of Agriculturists, Bicol Canarium Ovatum Chapter. My name is Nicole Moral, and I will be your host for today. Our episode for today will be covering the topic entitled ATI Bicol's Results-Based Monitoring and Evaluation, or RBME, Study for the Agriculture and Fisheries Extension Interventions. Before I introduce our resource person for the said topic, may I invite everyone to join together for a prayer and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Almighty, ever-living God, the most merciful and compassionate, we thank you for creation and the life you have given us. Together, we people of diverse religions, spiritual expressions and indigenous traditions, who invoke you by different names, humbly pray for your providence and protection in the midst of the COVID crisis. Strengthen and guide government leaders and private agencies, especially our administrators, faculty and staff, for the wisdom to do what is right and just. Enlighten the minds of students, that despite the educational limitations in this new normal, they may study diligently and effectively. Bless our families, remove our fears, and help us to trust in your love, so that by our example and generosity, we can inspire and help others. Grant all of us, especially the frontliners, good health and accept those who have died in your kingdom. Amen.
Tayong magiliw, peras ng silanganan, anak ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisili. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit na baga, may nilagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nanininig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magdidilim. Lupa ng harangan, bakit pagsinta mo'y langit sa piling mo? Aming ligaya na pamay mga pilang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. Good afternoon to our participants in the FB Live. We encourage our viewers and participants to actively engage in this discussion by typing your comments and reactions in the comment section below our video. We will consolidate them for our open forum later after the talk of our resource person. Now, it is my honor to introduce to you our guest speaker for today. He is the unit head of the Planning, Monitoring, and Evaluation Services Unit of the Department of Agriculture, Agricultural Training Institute, Regional Training Center 5. He holds a master's degree in agricultural extension from the Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, Pili, Camarines Sur. He is currently taking his doctorate degree in philosophy in development studies at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. His designations include being the point person of both the High Value Crops Development Program and the Urban Agriculture Program of ATI Bicol. Several of his research undertakings focuses on the results-based monitoring and evaluation, specifically the ATI Bicol's results-based monitoring and evaluation study for agriculture and fisheries extension interventions. To discuss about the said topic, please give a warm welcome of applause to Mr. Emmanuel L. Orogo.
Good afternoon everyone. Thank you, Ma'am Nicole, for that introduction.
Good afternoon, sir.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. Let me share my slides. Nakikita na po ba?
Yes, sir. Nakikita na po.
All right. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, we would like to thank the Bicol Consortium for Agriculture, Aquatic, and Natural Resources Research and Development, or BICARD, along with the Philippine Association of Agriculturists, or the Bicol Canary Ubatum chapter, and the Bicol University Extension Management Division for inviting us to be part of this online dissemination and training series. So for this afternoon, I'll be sharing with you uh, about how we in ATI monitor and evaluate our agriculture and fisheries extension interventions through our results-based monitoring and evaluation. So we are glad that we were already conducted a training and we were able to disseminate this RBME last week, last August 9 to 13 via Zoom. We conducted a training for our partners in extension. So basically, kasama po doon ay mga national government agencies, local government units, and as well as the state universities and colleges. They were the participants for this RBME system training. So gusto lang po kasi namin ipaabot with our partners kung how this RBME system run and the importance of having this RBME system in our offices. So we're glad that we trained 50 plus of our partners in extension dito po sa Bicol region for past 2 weeks ago. So this afternoon, I'll be sharing with you the following. Of course, the first objective for me to present with you the results-based monitoring and evaluation system of ATI Bicol. And the objective 2 of this presentation for me to discuss with you the results, conclusions, and the recommendations of our FY 2020 RBME study for dito po sa Bicol region. So I have 45 minutes to discuss this presentation. If Ma'am Nicole, if I'm out of time, please just let me know so that I can wrap up my presentation.
Okay po, sir.
Thank you. So let's start by knowing the concepts of the RBME system. So what is really RBME system and how it differs from the traditional monitoring and evaluation? So the ATI through its agricultural training institutes, training centers, so has institutionalized the agriculture and fisheries extension results-based monitoring evaluation system, or the RBME system. So the system studies the results indicators anchored on the agriculture and fisheries theory of change model. So it has 7 features wherein yung desired results po nito are arranged logically based on the time essence, and it serves as a landmark towards achievement of the identified long-term results. So the result statements are translated into measurable indicators to determine whether the desired results were achieved or not. So ito po yung definition ng RBM or the results-based monitoring and evaluation. So according to the United Nations Sustainable Development, or UNDP, this RBM or RBME is a management strategy by which all actors contributing directly or indirectly to actors contributing, of course, to ensure that their process, products, and services contribute to desired results and use information and evidence on the actual results to inform decision making at the design, resourcing, and delivery of programs and activities, as well as for accountability and reporting. The application of the RBME, it answers the questions, so what, and demonstrates the achievements of results. So this answers the following questions. The first questions that it answers is that if we have successfully implemented our interventions, did these interventions actually produce the intended or actual results for our beneficiaries? The second question is that did we achieve the changes that we envisioned when we first developed our interventions? This is the difference between the traditional and the results-based monitoring and evaluation. So for the traditional, it's just checking whether we achieve our targets based on the work and financial plan. Do we really achieve our targets based on the work and financial plan? On the other hand, the results based tells us or gives us the results or outcomes of the interventions implemented or completed. The traditional monitoring and evaluation answers the questions, just simple questions. It answers simple questions and requires a direct response. For example, how many activities were conducted? For example, we've conducted 94 training courses for the whole year. How many participants attended? For example, there were 1,900 participants attended the training courses. How much did it cost to conduct the activity? For example, 100,000 per batch was the cost per training conducted. On the other hand, the results-based questions, the results-based monitoring and evaluations answers more complicated, and it answers the so what questions. For example, so what if 94 training courses were conducted last year? So what if 1,900 participants were trained last year? And last question, so what if the cost of the activity was 1,000 pesos per batch? So that's the difference between the traditional and the results-based monitoring and evaluation. The traditional simply answers the simple questions, and the results-based answers the more complicated questions pertaining on the so what questions. What happened to the lives of the clients after the interventions provided by certain agencies? So in an RBME system, it focuses on the effect or intended change of the interventions to its target beneficiaries or clients. So it answers also the questions, what happened when the project just yeah. What happened when the project activities were completed? What were the effects of the projects on the targeted beneficiaries or clients? And was there an improvement on the situation of beneficiaries or clients? So those were some of the questions that this RBME system answers, and it provides us a understanding of how far we have done in our agriculture and fishery extension interventions. Another comparison between the traditional and the results-based monitoring and evaluation, traditional expresses through action language, emphasizing the point of view of the organization or the provider of interventions. On the other hand, the results-based expressed in a change language. So it really answers the change that happened to the lives of the clients after the provision of the interventions by certain agency. There were 6 elements of a result change. As you can see in the slide, for the traditional approach, it only covers the input, activities, and the outputs. As well, on the other hand, the results-based covers the 6 results chain of the RBME. So this covers from input up to the long-term outcome or long-term results. So specifically, the results covers from the immediate, intermediate, and long-term results. For the element inputs, it answered the questions, what are the resources needed? Activities, how is an intervention implemented? For the outputs, it answers what is produced. For intermediate and for immediate and intermediate, what results are expected from the interventions? And for the long term, what are the goals of the intervention? So later on, I'll share with you the indicators of our office and some of the outcomes na meron po kami na sinusunod po namin with our results-based monitoring and evaluation. So let's come now to the concept of the theory of change model. So do you agree that the person why we plan that the reason why we plan and implement intervention is that we want to see change. Of course, we want change for the better for our clients, especially our farmers and fisher folks. Can we assume that all interventions we plan and implement are geared towards a desired positive change? There is an emphasis on the word positive because changes can be reflected either as positive or negative. And of course, we want a positive change for our clients. So if this is true, given that all interventions are geared towards a higher level of objectives, there is a need for organizations to measure whether these objectives are met. So we have the theory of change model, which we consider as a phenomenon that is translated into a knowledge model, or we call it the theory of change model. So the theory of change model depicts how an organization or intervention is expected to lead to the results, showing its element of the result change from inputs to the results. That according to our mentor, Mr. Santos, last 2016, when we conducted our 10-day session or 10-day training for the formulation of our theory of change model. Ito po yung model na sinusundan po namin. So from the input up to the outcome na long term. So every step, every element of the chain ay meron pong mini-measure po dyan. So later on, isa-isahin ko po sa inyo kung ano po yung mini-measure and ano po yung mga tinitingnan po dito along the elements of the results chain. The purpose and objectives of our study. So yearly, we are conducting a results-based monitoring evaluation wherein our respondents here are those where those participants were availed the services we provided 3 years back. So for the year 2020, our respondents here were those 2017 farmer and AW respondents for our different interventions provided. For our 2021 RBME, we are still on the process of analyzing. That's why I'll be presenting with you the results of our 2020 RBME study. For the general objective of this RBME study that we are conducting in our office, that you may also use in your monitoring and evaluation of your interventions provided to your clients as well. So the general objective, of course, for us to determine the AFE RBME system, to determine the values of the 28 identified results indicators based on the agriculture and fishery extension theory of change model, and present, of course, the qualitative and quantitative changes, measures that show the changes that happen to the clients and beneficiaries that receive interventions from ATI and AFE partners. So dito po kasi may limitation din po kami when it comes to this study. Hindi naman po namin kiniklaim na because of the interventions provided at ATI, there's something happened to the lives of our clients. There's positive changes that happens to the lives of clients. Of course, kasama din po doon sa questionnaire po namin yung mga interventions provided by other agencies. Kasi hindi naman lang si ATI ang nagpo-provide, but there are also a lot of agencies supporting such organization or farmer, and hindi po namin yon inalis sa study na to. Kasama po yung mga interventions provided by other agencies. Specific objectives of this study, it seeks to organize the data and information of ATI as it encourages the better management and storage of information, particularly for the data needs of the RBME system. The second specific objective, it makes recommendations aimed to trigger the examination of existing problems and issues and to improve the delivery of programs and services. Of course, gusto lang din po namin ito magamit for us to really improve better yung mga programs, projects, and activities na piniprovide namin with our clients. The third specific objectives was to communicate with the general public and other outside stakeholders the accomplishment and the results of the interventions conducted by the ATI and its partner over the past years. That's why thank you very much to the BICARD for inviting us here to present this accomplishment of ATI, and for our partners to use this as well in their um, implementation of their programs, projects, and activities for our common clients, which are the farmers and the fisher folks. For the AFA theory and change model and results indicators, this is part of the approach and methodology we use. So ito po yung content ng aming input up to the aim, the societal goals of our study. Of course, the input needed, the manpower, money, machineries, methods, and time, activities. So here, the activities, these are anchored on our thematic programs. Na ito po yung, dito po kami naka-angklad, ito po yung aming thematic programs in ATI, which is to provide knowledge, products, and services, provide capability building activities, establish partnerships, develop agriculture and fisheries innovations, provide climate change initiatives, and provide enabling environment. So for the output, change lang po, yung output, knowledge, products, and services provided, capability building activities provided, and so on. So for the results-based, for the immediate outcomes, meron pong tatlong outcomes identified here. First outcome is the increased access to interventions, improved attitude, skills, and knowledge of clients, improved provision of interventions. And for the intermediate, we have three outcomes: the increased productivity of clients, increased empowerment of clients, increased resiliency of clients. And for the long term, we have one outcome, the increased competitiveness of clients. These outcomes are geared towards achieving the societal goals, which are the food security, poverty reduction, and increased social equity. So ito po yung theory of change model na sinusundan po namin, and each outcome ay meron po kaming results indicators na counterpart po niya. So this is reflected in this slide. So ito po yung immediate outcomes po namin, intermediate outcomes, the impact or the long-term outcomes. So in their corresponding indicators. For example, for the immediate outcomes, our first outcome here, objective rather, increased access to agriculture and fishery interventions. Our indicators used were the percent of clients served, number of clients served, number of marginalized clients served, and the number of percent increase and coverage. So and so on. So this were the theory of change model and results indicators that we are following in this RBME study. So ito po yung mga indicators na tinitingnan na po namin dito sa study na to. So dapat meron po kaming mga sagot dito sa mga indicators na ito. For the data collection, so the main respondents of this cycle of this Agriculture and Fisheries RBME system implemented last year, nga po sabi ko na yung mga clients namin 2017. Sila po yung mga respondents po namin. So this spans a 3-year period to acknowledge the results of the changes espoused by the extension interventions provided to them are not immediately visible. So the data collection methods were used. Ito po yung primary and secondary. So for last year, for the previous years, we used this different primary data collection methods: surveys of clients, focus group discussions, field visit of clients, and the phone calls or email. But because of the pandemic last year, we only used the phone calls or email to gather the responses of our clients. We use also the secondary methods such as the desk review of the related documents and reports, wherein kasama po dyan yung mga pre-test and post-test results of our clients and their action plan after the training. So maganda po talaga na after the training ay naka-impact talaga or may proper storing and data banking of the documents after the certain interventions provided with the clients. Kasi because of this RBME system ay kakailanganin po talaga yung mga documents na yun. For the sampling, ito po ay common po ito sa lahat ng agricultural training centers sa across the country. So ito po yung sinusundan po namin at central office po yung nagdetermine po ng population ng sample po namin. Sila po yung nagbibigay sa amin ng sample and yung sample na yun ay distributed equally sa lahat ng provinces. For example, 63 farmers, ito po ay divided equally sa 6 na provinces po natin dito sa Bicol. So stratified random sampling with replacement kapag hindi po active na yung yung contact number and other communication doon sa respondents ay allow po kami na palitan po yung sample and we must of course undergo the process. Gagamit pa din po kami ng random sampling technique wherein sa Excel po yun and it is online. So yung AEW, yung purpose po nila dito, yung agricultural extension workers, they were also interviewed for the purpose na gagamitin po yung kanilang responses to validate of course the responses of the farmers. So the quantitative and qualitative information collected was analyzed through content and descriptive analysis. The responses were summarized and tabulated in which frequency counts, percent values, and average were computed accordingly. So dummy tables were used to ensure the consistency in the analysis and interpretation. Let's come now to the results and discussions of the different indicators presented kanina. So yung kanina po, those were the background and the rationale bakit we are conducting this RBME study every year. Now let's come to the results and discussions. The first result na titingnan po natin ay yung immediate results. Sa immediate results po, covered po niya yung increased access to interventions, the improved attitude, skills and knowledge of clients, and the improved provision of interventions. So first, improve attitude, skills, and knowledge of clients. The percent of clients saying that they have an increased knowledge. Percent of clients saying that they have an increased knowledge, 83% of the respondents said very much, and 17% moderate. The hindrances to learning from the training received include the unmet expectations among topics discussed. So medyo mataas po kasi yung expectations siguro nila sa training. That's why pagdating ng training, hindi na pala na-meet yung expectations nila. So ganun yung naging rating po nila. Resource speakers, mataas din yung standards nila with the resource speakers and hindi na-meet yung expectation with the resource speakers and of course the training environment. Most of the farmers po kasi ay they prefer na location specific. Gusto po nila doon mismo sa farm para they can actually see kung ano yung sinasabi ng lecturer. Kaya mas gusto po nila na doon mismo i-conduct yung intervention sa kanilang lugar or in a certain farm or learning site for agriculture, for example. So yun po yung gusto ng ating mga clients sa mga farmers. For the clients certified with skill competencies, 92% had their NC2 for organic agriculture and 8% had their NC2 for agricultural crop production. So in partnership with DESDA, thank you so much with DESDA for the partnership with this certification with with our participants for them to get their national certificate on organic agriculture and agricultural crop production. So the assessment is conducted through any of the following evidence gathering methods: the demonstration or observation with our questioning, the written test, the interview, the third-party report, and the portfolio. For the percent adopters based on the action plan, so percent of adopters based on the action plan, 61% said that yes, they implemented the action plan na they committed after the training. So before po kasi mag-end ang training, all the participants are required to submit their action plan, what they will do after the training. And sabi po dito, 39% yung nagsabi na hindi po nila na-implement yung action plan. So ano po yung mga reasons behind bakit hindi po nila implement yung kanilang action plan. Yung 70% said that they forgot the details of the action plan. So nakalimutan nila yung action plan na ikinomit nila with ATI. 24%, sorry, wrong yung tagging. 24% no available personal resources. Wala pong personal na kakayahan yung mga farmer to implement the technology shared by resource speakers because of, for example, wala pong enough capital to implement those technologies. 6% sabi na others due to the natural calamities. That's why they were not able to implement the action plan they committed sa API. Percent of clients that adopted new agriculture and fisheries technology. 80% said that yes, they adopted the new technologies they learned sa training, and 14% said that they don't adopted the technology they acquire sa training. So the extent to which client respondents adopted agriculture and fisheries technologies, 97% said that they applied and shared the use of the technology to others. So ito yung mga farmers na hindi masyadong kuripot, hindi kuripot with regards to the learning that they have. So ito yung mga kailangan po natin sa community. So what they have learned ay in-apply nila sa kanilang farm, and they also shared it with their community doon sa kanilang respective places. And 3% said that they applied the technology to regular farming activities. Etong 3% na to, they just applied the technology and without sharing. Na kumbaga sa kanila lang yung yung learning na natutunan nila. Maybe may mga hindrances behind that. That's why hindi nila na-share yung technology. But anyway, yung kagandahan, 97% ay they were able to share, to replicate what they have learned sa training na naibigay or intervention na naibigay po ng ATI. So yun yung kagandahan, kasi yun ang dapat yung mga interventions po natin ay hindi lang iilan yung nagbe-benefit. No? Dapat we have this kind of farmers na they share what they have learned, or they share what they have, what knowledge they have, to help other farmers in their community. So for the agriculture technology adopted by client respondents, 27% ang backyard gardening, 17% organic agriculture, and 12% vegetable farming. So those were the technologies adopted by clients, and marami pa pong iba na medyo malaliit lang yung nasa file. For the clients, respondents that adopted agriculture and fisheries technologies and suggested that they could have learned the technologies from other sources other than the training. So 71% have claimed that they have learned agriculture and fisheries technologies from other sources from aside from training. So the internet was cited as one of their source. Lalong-lalo na po ngayon, hindi na po face-to-face yung ating mga interventions. Marami na po tayong mga online series, online webinars kagaya po nito na our farmers could really learn at their own pace, at their own place. So yan, 71% na sabi na hindi lang training yung naging source nila ng kanilang information. So majority of the client respondents said that they were already aware of the lessons in technologies prior to attending the training. Majority of the participants have based knowledge of the technologies taught in the training. So it may serve as their refresher course. So karamihan po kasi ay na-train na din naman ng ATI and by some other agencies. So that's why yung iba ay parang refresher na lang po sa kanila yung training provided by the ATI. The client respondents that see themselves continuously using technologies. So 82% of the client respondents surveyed said that they continuously use the technologies in their agriculture activities. This shows that the interventions given were relevant as continuous adoption is high. For clients who did not adopt agricultural technologies taught, the most common reasons were first, the lack of resources such as capital to implement technologies, the doubt on the use and application of the technologies, suitability of technologies in the area, and not having their own land to practice their learning. And busy ata yung ating farmers, hindi ma-implement yung kanyang learning because of the lack of time. Percent of clients satisfied with interventions they receive. So the satisfaction level of clients is an indicator of improved provision of agriculture and fisheries extension services. 67% of those interviewed participants or respondents said that they were satisfied with interventions received. As to the relevance of the interventions received, according to the client respondents, 89% said that they claimed that intervention received from the ATI were very relevant, and 11% relevant. No participants or no client respondent rated us that the interventions received are not at all relevant. Let's come now on the second result of the result chain, the intermediate results. It covers the increased productivity of clients, increased empowerment of clients, and the increased resiliency of clients. 69% of the clients said that they are practicing diversified farming wherein they plant multiple crops and integrating livestock and other animals and fishes. Since diversification presents more opportunity to earn income, this can be integrated in agriculture and fisheries subject matters to encourage more clients into the practice. So, napakalaga po na hindi lang dapat monocropping yung pinapractice ng ating mga farmers, but they must be trained on the diversified farming because we see that they could really generate more income when they practice this diversified farming. So that's why we really integrate diversification topics sa every training that we have in ABI. At least 1 to 2 hour lecture topic for diversified farming. At least they could see the opportunity when they venture into diversified farming. For the percent of client engaged in value adding, 89% claim that yes, they practice value adding activities on their produce to increase its economic value and consumer appeal. So 11% po yung nagsabi na they just sold their products and as it is. So walang value adding talaga. So this is also an area for that needs more focus to push more clients into the agripreneur market. Processing of products, labeling, and branding of the products were some of the value-adding activities performed by client respondents. So yun pa lang yung pinaprocess po nila, processing of products such as yung mga sa root crops po natin, yun po yung mga samples po nila dyan, yung mga processing po ng mga products na yun. The percent of clients turned into agripreneurs. So it answered the empowerment. Okay, I have 10 minutes left. Medyo malapit na din naman. Thank you, Ms. Nicole. For the percent of clients turned into agripreneurs, so an agripreneur or agricultural entrepreneur is defined as an entrepreneur whose main business or agriculture or agri-related. According to our Farm Business School manual of ATI, an individual is considered as an agripreneur when he or she possess the 6 main characteristics. No po? So first characteristic ng isang agripreneur daw po ay kapag yung ating farmer ay nag-engage in business as a source of income, not only as just as personal consumption, no? For the second characteristic ay market their products, binibenta po nila yung kanilang products. Thus, the third characteristics ay reinvest capital to farm. So yung mga earning nila ay ni-reinvest nila ulit for the sustainability ng kanilang farm operation. The fourth characteristic ay has ambition and goals for the farm. So that's why pinapagawa po namin yung aming mga farmers ng kanilang goals and objectives. Mga may farms po namin na mga kinikater. Five, keeps farm records. And lastly, develops business or farm strategies and plans. So ito po yung mga characteristics ng isang agripreneur. Para makonsider sila agripreneurs, they must possess the 6 main characteristics. And based on the data, 67% said that no. It was observed that 63% of client respondents turned into agripreneurs, and 37% who do not consider themselves as not yet as hindi pa sila agripreneur. So for the percent of marginalized clients turned into agripreneurs, 53% of our client respondents said that belonging to the marginalized clients who claim that they are towards becoming an agripreneur, and 47% na hindi pa. So ito pong mga marginalized clients na to ay ito po yung mga out of school youth, rural women, indigenous people, PWDs and senior citizen, etc. For the agricultural extension workers, 89% said that because of the interventions received from ATI, they got promoted or they got na-hire po sila sa kanilang offices or sa Municipal Agriculture's Office or sa Provincial Agriculture's Office, and 11% ang sabi na hindi. So it was noted that there is a lack of opportunity for career advancement of agricultural extension workers after the devolution of extension services to the local government unit due to the structure and availability of the permanent positions in the local government units agricultural offices. So that's why medyo nade-deprive yung opportunity ng ating ibang mga municipal agriculture's office, and some konti lang yung kanilang agricultural extension workers. According to the social protection is a set of interventions whose objectives is to reduce social and economic risk and vulnerability and to alleviate extreme poverty and deprivation. 85% said that they have social protection while 15% don't have. So this 85% na merong social protection, ang kanilang social protection po ay common responses po yung social security social security system or yung ating SSS. So it is vital that agriculture and fisheries extension and delivery advisory services should like clients towards social protection programs to increase their resiliency to shock. So we really encourage our clients to have these social protections para in case of uncertainties, in case of calamities, they have this protection for them to be resilient in their farm operations. Percent of clients saying that they are confident in coping from the unfortunate events. So only 65% that they are 12% said that they are highly confident, and majority 65% is slightly confident na in coping with the unfortunate events. So for the clients respondents who were taught about climate change adaptation mitigations, techniques, measures, and practices, 56% nagsabi na yes, na-incorporate ito sa training program na binigay ng office, and itong 44% nagsabi na hindi. With the 56%, 95% po doon na nagsabi na with the use of the learning they had sa binigay po ng aming office, they were able to cope up with the unfortunate events due to the climate change adaptation, mitigation measures, and practices taught. So for the percent of clients with alternative agriculture and fisheries-related job competencies, 98% nagsabi na yes, meron silang other agriculture and fisheries-related job competencies. Ito pong others na to ay, ito na po siya, fruit growing, vegetable production, rice farming, fishing, corn production, raising farm, or livestock, and others. So yan po yung mga competencies na meron po yung ating mga farmers. Now let's come to the long-term results. It answers the increased competitiveness of clients. How competitive are clients na ba at this time? So 94% said that their farms were not yet certified, and 6% nagsabi na yes, certified na yung kanilang farm, and yung 80% nagsabi na the learning site na yung kanilang farm, and 20% nagsabi na organic agriculture yung kanilang farm. So increased competitiveness of clients when it comes to the percentage of client respondents producing certified products. 99% nagsabi na hindi pa sila nagpo-produce ng mga certified products, and 1% may nagsabi na yes, they are producing certified products. So ito pa po yung tinitingnan po natin na pwede po nating maging interventions pa sa kanila for them to produce certified products para hindi lang sila makapag-compete not only locally, not only in their municipality, but also outside the region, and of course yung iniim po natin makapag-compete in the ASEAN countries, no, sa labas po ng ating bansa. So yung nagsabi na 1%, yung pinapractice niya po ay good agricultural practices or yung GAP. For the summary and conclusion, so dito lang po ang ipapakita lang naman po dito yung consolidated data per table in the form of yung indicator po nila and then the value. So for easy analysis of data. So yan po yung mga na-present ko po kanina, yung consolidated po niya for the immediate results, intermediate results. For the immediate results, meron pong 3 outcomes and then 12 indicators. For the intermediate results, meron pong 3 outcomes and 12 po na indicators. And for the long term, meron pong isang outcome with 4 results indicators. So this answers the so what questions of the results-based monitoring and evaluation system. Ito na po yung sagot doon sa mga tanong po kanina. What happened after the interventions provided by the ATI? So for the lessons learned from the implementation of the Agriculture and Fisheries RBME system, these are the lessons learned from the implementation of the Agriculture and Fisheries RBME extension system. So the realization that this RBME provides opportunity to reassess the ATI's performance, so that agriculture and fisheries undertakings must always have the welfare of the clients in view, that it is to empower them to be productive, resilient, and competitive. So this serves as an opportunity to receive feedback from the clients on the results of the interventions. The implementation of the RBME system and effective data management is crucial since it entails the storing, organizing, and maintaining the information needed. So this must also comply in the training process. So dapat masunod talaga yung training process, yung pre and post-test results, not just to measure the participants' learning growth, but also to assess the effectiveness and efficiency of the training conducted. Another one, the agriculture and fisheries extension sector plays a vital role to achieve a vibrant economy as well as the desired stability and sufficiency. So the center has to work closely with the sector to deliver the needed intervention, and on the hindsight, the Agricultural Training Institute plays a vital role in providing excellent extension services in the AFE sectors towards attaining food availability and affordability for every Filipino family. So to realize this goal, collective efforts between the agency and its clienteles are needed. So yung tulong po ninyo, yung mga partners po namin from the local government units, state universities and colleges, and the national government agencies ay kailangan po talaga for us to, we really need to harmonize those interventions para ma-address po natin itong concern po natin in the AFA extension. So for the recommendations, so these are the recommendations that our partners in extension might find useful in the implementation of their interventions. Pwede niyo po itong magamit, not only hindi lang po kami sa ATI, since nag-implement din po kayo ng mga extension interventions, so pwede po ninyo ito din magamit in your extension activities. So since this RBME is requiring also secondary data such as the pre-test and post-test results, the copy of the action plan, etc. So an effective management of data systems should be put in place to facilitate efficient data collection, storage, retrieval, and analysis and dissemination. So the RBME should feed back into the planning process and should be a major components of all agriculture and fisheries proposal. So to improve the results of on-client productivity, empowerment, resiliency, and competitiveness, the projects, and activities have to refocus on instigating clients' production and demand-driven commodities and practice of crop diversification. Uh, we must allow or engage our our farmers in value adding and processing to encourage them to become agripreneurs, disseminate package agribusiness technologies in regular investment fora to promote agripreneurship development, educating and extending more information on climate change, its adaptation and mitigation techniques to help clients become more resilient, and intensifying farm accreditation as well as certification of farms, since kanina konti pa lang yung certified na farms, no? Konti pa lang yung nag-practice ng good agriculture practices. So for them to be more competitive in the market, not only locally but also internationally. The fourth one is strong convergence in various government agencies, DTI, ATI, DA, ATI, TESDA, DOT, DNR, among others. So this can help provide inputs for planning, implementation, continuous promotion of more relevant interventions, and at the same time ensure sustainable and smooth operation. Lastly, linkages with local government units, state universities and colleges, and the private sector must be continuously strengthened so that more interventions and assistance can be given to clients, especially advisory services. So those were some of the recommendations we had for this RBME study last year. So before I end this presentation, so I'd like to leave this phrase with you. So according to Peter Drucker, if you cannot measure it, you can't manage it. So if we cannot measure results, we cannot tell success from failure. So it is also connected to the phrases, to the other phrases that if you cannot see success, you cannot reward it. And of course, if you cannot reward success, you are probably rewarding failure. So with that, I hope that you learned something from my talk, and we hope that all together we will achieve what we wanted to our clients, the farmers and fisher folks. So that's all. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening, and I'm open for your feedback, your questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Orogo, for a very informative and relevant discussion. Your research has certainly enlightened our minds and extensively explained how important research is and how important it is for researchers to be followed through, even after the end of every project. At this point, we are now ready to entertain questions from the comment sections of the FB Live. But before that, let me recognize some of our viewers and participants of this webinar. We have Mr. Hector John Morales, greeting everyone, a good afternoon. We have Maria May Guel Rublico from Mindanao, Iligan City. We also have Mr. Fortunato Melchor Calis Jr., watching from Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija. And we also have Mr. Gabriel Roy Adilgos, and Ms. Gwen Maris Malie, greeting everyone a good afternoon. Good afternoon, participants. Now we will go to the open forum. I will now pose the first question while waiting for the other participants to comment their question. Sir, aside from the benefits of this study, aside from the benefits it poses for its clientele, what can institutions or governing bodies benefit from this study or from this system?
Yeah, thank you, Ma'am Nicole, for the question. This this results-based monitoring and evaluation is really a helpful tool or system for us in the government agencies, in the local government units, in state university and colleges, yung mga extension, yung members of the members in the extension pillar, no? So malaking tulong po ito sa kanila, malaking tulong po ito sa atin for us to really measure, for us to really see the difference, for us to really see the changes that we have brought to our clients. And with this RBME system ay pwede po natin ito magamit in order for us to improve our interventions na ginagawa po natin for our clients, since this is we track the progress of our activities dito, no? Yung ating mga outcomes ay tinitingnan po natin, and this is really a good input for us to input in our planning sessions for us to improve the delivery of our agriculture and fisheries extension services.
Well, thank you, sir. And it seems naman po that you recommend this RBME system to other researchers and institutions nationwide, or Bicol-wide or nationwide.
Yeah, this RBME system is not only implemented in the Bicol region, but this is also implemented in the whole country. Ano, lahat po ng ATI ay conducting this RBME system, and we recently conducted a training last August 9 to 13 for our partners here in Bicol na nag-implement din ng extension activities for them to implement also this RBME system, para hindi lang po si ATI, para sila din, they can see also the changes they have brought to the lives of our clients in the community.
Okay po, sir. How about the other organizations that are interested in the RBME system? How can they reach out to you to adapt the system?
Yeah, we can share also this system. If they want, they just approach us. We can provide the information, or if they want the training, pwede naman po kami mag-provide ng training for them, since we have also a pool of expert na din po dito sa aming office na nag-undergo na din po ng training. So we can also help them to implement this RBME system in their organization, even na private po sila. So we are very much open for their for them.
Okay, thank you, sir. It seems that there are no more questions since your discussion is quite extensive po, sir. It was very informative. Thank you so much, sir. Before we finish, can you just give some last synthesis for this webinar?
Synthesis. All right. So for our participants and our viewers in Facebook and dito po sa Zoom, thank you very much for your participation, for your time in hearing me in this webinar. So I hope na meron po kayo natutunan for my sharing for this afternoon, and we hope na lahat po tayo ay ma-practice po natin itong RBME system, since maganda din po ito for us to really see the development na ginagawa po natin sa ating mga clients. So if you need assistance, hindi naman po kami ganun ka-expert. We also tap other experts like the UPLB to train us. So you can also tap them for you to be able to have this system in your offices. So andito lang din po si ATI to assist you for you to have this system also. We can also share our tool, since open naman po yun for everyone. So yun lamang po. Thank you so much for everyone for having your time here, and of course thank you sa Bicol for inviting us. Thank you so much po for your invitation. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, sir, and you can just contact ATI Bicol to learn about the RBME system. Thank you again, Mr. Orogo, for your time, and we hope that more blessings will come to you and your institutions.
Thank you, Momiko.
Thank you, sir. And for our participants, please expect the evaluation link shortly. We will send them We will send the link to the email you provided in the registration form. The e-cert will also be sent via email approximately a week after accomplishing the evaluation form. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So in behalf of BCARD, BUEMB, PAA Bicol, we would like to extend our utmost gratitude to all our participants for your active participation, and please watch out for the next episodes of this online technology dissemination and training series. With that, thank you, keep safe, and always wear your mask.